the fog idea, I saw that they're using artificial fog, which is kind of like theatrical smoke or fog, for frost control in Europe, and you can get a big fancy machine to do it. But I tried sort of making my own machine, and it sort of worked, but sort of was going to be too much work. And then I realized that for, I think it's $275, you can buy these. This thing puts out 20,000 cubic feet a minute of stage fog, which is a half an acre foot. So it lingers for, we filled a high tunnel with it, it lingered for over 2 hours. It just, what it does is it has a heating element that heats up a water glycerin solution. For theater, they use polyethylene glycol, which I don't like. So I'm just using regular vegetable glycerin. It's like an organic product, food grade. And that solution gets heated up to it forms a steam. And then that gets forced through a nozzle here, and it comes out as a steam that instantly condenses when it hits the cool air into millions of little micro droplets. And the droplets are so small that they actually float in the air. They're the same weight as the air, so they will never settle out. And the glycerin kind of coats the surface of each sphere of water almost like it's in a little plastic bag, and it won't evaporate. So they'll stick around for a couple hours. And if the wind can blow them away, which is the main problem, but if they stay in one place, they'll form a pretty dense white cloud. And the idea is that would be like an artificial cloud that will stop the radiative heat loss from the orchard up to the clear night sky on these kind of freeze nights we have. And it's very effective. We got 2 of them, but the big problem is when the wind is blowing, it will tend to blow it all off in one stripe in one direction. The wind stops, it'll pool and form a cloud. We just want a cloud over our hill here, just a little 10-acre cloud hovering over us. So
kind of worked and it kind of didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it absolutely worked the first night, and I think that if we hadn't had it the first night, it would have been colder than the second night, based on neighbors and stuff having 23. And I think if we'd had 23, we would have lost literally all the apples. So I think that the fact that we have any apples is because we did this, but it's still like touch and go, and I'd say it was at most 2 degrees at most, maybe just a degree of protection. But
yeah,
that's what it took this time.
So we had a double whammy here the last 2 nights in a row. It was very cold. The first night it was 25 degrees outside, and the second night was 24. And our orchard is at tight cluster or pink, and we had a lot of damage, unfortunately. So we're just taking a walk around and assessing the damage.
So the apple makes, well, zoom in on a cluster here. So when an apple bud opens up, it's actually, we'll usually have five or so flowers, 6 flowers in it. It's surrounded by a whorl of leaves. The one in the middle is called the king bloom. It's always the one that you can see a little bit of petals showing there. It's always the one that's furthest along, and it will bloom first. I'm picking that one out, and I'm just cutting it in half with my fingernail. You could use a knife, and you can kind of split it open. So you're dissecting it, and you can see the ovary is here, and then these here will be the anthers. Everything looks good there. In a one that's died.
Yeah, let's find one that's died.
Pretty good.
So if it's alive, then you want the tissue to be green on the inside, and if it's dead, it will be brown.
This one here is peeking out, quite a bit of pink showing, quite a bit of petals showing there. Maybe a day further along, and you can see.
This thing doesn't zoom very much.
All that dead tissue in there.
Here we go. Actually. So these are golden russet apples. We're checking things after a double whammy, 2 nights of freeze events.
No, I don't think
Golden russets are either at tight cluster or first pink, but those were all dead, right?
Yeah.
What about these ones that are really tight cluster? Open up.
I tried.
Yeah. Limp. They feel limp to the
like
finger.
desiccated, yeah.
What are these?
Connie.
These are Akani.
Yeah. think they're too far along too. I don't think there's gonna be anything here. That's the smallest one, the tightest cluster. But that might not.
Florina? No, the Florina are at first pink here.
Like out of order this year.
That is dead.
So far, I have not found one single apple bud, actually.
We gotta find the tightest here. Here's one where the cluster is still covered by leaves. Pick off bud off that and test that. That is the best bet we have here.
That's there, but it's only got like 2 anthers in it, so it's like maybe kind of an
Gallerina.
All right, yay! Look at that.
First live bud, second live bud. There we go. That's good. These are not at pink at all. They're just at tight cluster. Well, there's one that's kind of almost starting to be at first pink.
Yeah.
That one is dead though. I just picked off one that was dead.
It says keepsake.
Keepsake. Some of the keepsakes are alive. These are Gallerina.
So late.
But they're still at like first pink though.
Does not look good. Well,
was that dead?
Yeah.
The pink pearl, it's so sad. They're loaded with bloom, but they're pretty far along and they look pretty much all dead. I haven't found a live bud here at all. Williams Pride.
It's so hardy. It's a pink, and it's fun.
That's actually amazing.
So I don't know about the king bloom here. It's probably not fun. No, it's not fun. But just starting to show a little teeny bit of damage there, but I think it's pretty much fine right next to the king bloom.
That's
right
actually kind of amazing.
So this area, well, again, look where it is.
This is where the fog was.
This is where the fog was. Yeah. I think it helped, but I think we just need to distribute it better, and the wind is a real problem. Zestar they're really
they're like some of our first to bloom here.
Yeah.
They looked all dead when I looked at them yesterday. Like every single one of them looked dead.
Yeah. I'm not
They're
surprised.
at full pink. They're very dead.
This is, oh, look at that. Hey, look at that. We got a...
Really? That's amazing.
Oh, caterpillar.
A caterpillar?
This would be their... I mean, they made like, this whole row made like 10 apples 2 years ago, and then last year we got nothing, so we'll see. Liberty, on the other hand,
these look great.
Produce a lot, but they're pretty far along. So I would think they would be very susceptible to damage, but maybe they're hardy.
They're pretty much at pink,
Look at
though.
That. Look at that.
I mean,
full pink, totally fine.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Let's try
That's
that.
amazing.
King bloom here. Let's go.
Take some king blooms.
That's not fine.
This is not fine. That was a king bloom that is very much dead.